We have a short welcome from our illustrious past chairman of the Republican Party of Pickens County. Most of you know him as Larry Toney.
Thank you, Bill. The check's in the mail. You'll get that. I'd like to welcome you all to the Sandy Bottoms, the home of the 5th annual tomato sandwich picnic. Just want you to know that this is the year of the Republicans. We in Pickens County, we only have Republican candidates. I'm sorry, we do have one independent and one Democrat. Yes, I forgot about the token Democrat. But be that as it may, this is the year of the Republicans, starting with Romney and just working our way right down, including the school board. So this is a good year for Republicans. I would ask candidates and citizens to take on one challenge, and that's to take somebody to the polls with you to vote. Vote on July 31st and vote on November the 6th. Turn out, turn out, turn out. That is the key to getting this country back and retaining the county, district, and state that we have that's running all Republican. Again, welcome. I'm doing this in lieu of Rob Jones because Rob is a candidate, and if I turn this mic over to him, he may talk forever. But since I've got it right now, I'll leave him alone. Welcome, glad to have you here.
Thank you, Larry. Person that I would like to recognize, and I don't see him right now, Andrew Turnage. Where are you at, Andrew?
Back over this way.
Ah, Andrew. Would you like to say a few words? He is the chairman of the 9th District, and that's basically all of northeast Georgia. He just inherited that big area, and he's doing a fine job with it. Andrew?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate the opportunity to say hello. I want to say thank you to Chairman Horton and everybody that's working with the Pickens County GOP. Appreciate you being out here. This is what politics is all about. You know, the 9th District, whether we're talking about the old 9th or the new 9th, we could also say, since half of us are making up the new 14th, we could also be talking about the new 14th Congressional District. We are the most Republican, most conservative area in the country. And that's an important distinction. And the difference is that we stay involved. You know, nationally, people are catching on to the message of we the people. We've never strayed away from the message of we the people in the 9th and the 14th. That's what's made the difference. You can see it in the congressional choices that we've made, and it filters all the way down to the local level. It's really the other way around here, isn't it? From the grassroots up to Washington, we keep those conservative Republican values. So thank you for what you're doing. I appreciate the opportunity just to say hello. Keep up the good work. If we can help you, please come and join us. We will have a debate, by the way, for that open 9th Congressional seat. If you're in the eastern half of Pickens County and you'll be represented by the new person that we elect for Congress, come and be a part of that. July 19th will be the first one, and that will be at the Gainesville Civic Center at 7 o'clock. We'd love to see you there. Keep up the good work, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Andrew. I'd be remiss if I did not mention the people that helped make this possible today. Most of you never get to see or know the executive committee. It's 14 people that work with me monthly and weekly, making sure that things happen. If you are a candidate and you qualified last week, you met some of the executive committee. They were there. Any function that we have, the executive committee works hard with, and they all have different assignments. Not going to mention any names. You'll see them. They probably don't even want to be recognized, but they're good people. One person I would like on that committee to recognize is our fundraising chairman, Chris Romines. Chris, are you out here anywhere? Chris? Don't see him. Chris has worked diligently over the past 4 weeks putting this together, and he has done a great job. And let's give Chris a hand for all he's done, wherever he is located. We have someone with us today that I'm going to let speak first. He is a bastion of conservatism in Congress. He said he was going to go and stop all of the giving away of what little money we make and have. that he was going to do everything within his power to get us back on the right track. We are maybe headed in that direction. It's going to take a lot more than just Tom, but Tom has fought hard to keep conservatism in Congress and turn our federal government around and to make it we the people, not we the Congress again. Our congressman from the 14th District now, Tom Graves. Tom?
Well, thank you all. I tell you, I'm so excited to be with you today. And Bill, I want to thank you for your leadership here in Pickens County. And, we came back from Washington, I guess yesterday. It's back to the land of reason and common sense. And it is so good to be back with you. This is one of the events we really look forward to, the tomato sandwich get-together and the fundraiser. And thanks for helping out the party here. I'm going to keep my remarks brief, but I want y'all to know this is a very serious time for our nation. And what the message is from today and all across, whether it's the 14th or whether it's the 9th, is we have got to beat Barack Obama. And Georgia is going to play a part in this. And as I travel across the state, everybody says, well, Georgia's a Republican state. We're going to go for Mitt Romney anyhow. But Barack Obama thinks it's up for play. A lot of people say, well, how can that be? We're a red state. Do y'all realize John McCain only had 52% of the state of Georgia? Just over 200,000 votes separated John McCain from Barack Obama in 2008. And that is only 14,000 votes per congressional district. And they are working hard in the state of Georgia. They have qualified a Democrat in every congressional seat but a handful, including mine and including the new 9th. And you say, well, why would they do that? There's no way they can beat you guys in these strong Republican districts. It's not about beating us. It's about pushing the vote up for them. They're willing to invest in candidates just to get the Democrat vote up in these congressional districts, just to get Georgia in play. So what does that do for all of us? It means it locks up our money. It means I have to spend money in a November election. It means whomever comes out of the 9th is doing the same. That means that our money's staying in the districts as opposed to going to Mitt Romney or other congressional candidates. So we have got to hold strong. And they are going to do everything they can to keep doing what they're doing. And I want you to think about what they're doing. Unemployment numbers are terrible and getting worse. Spending, we're deficit now, $1 trillion deficit, going on our 4th consecutive year under Barack Obama. He's using his department heads to circumvent Congress each and every day, whether it's EPA, whether it's OSHA, whatever agency or department it is, to implement their agenda. Gas prices continue to be high. Every day it is something new coming out of this administration, and they want to continue that legacy. But who is standing in the way? It's going to be Pickens County. It's going to be the 9th Congressional District. It's going to be the 14th Congressional District. And we are going to lead this nation in beating Barack Obama. And I am so excited to be with you today because it starts right here in Pickens County. So we need your help. We need your help. Now, I see a lot of candidates out here, and I know a lot of you are running against one another, and I've been in that position as well. There is no more an important time than this year that when the dust settles in July or August, whenever it's resolved, you get behind the nominee for the Republican Party. In the 9th Congressional District, great candidates in the 9th Congressional District, but there's a Democrat waiting in November. We've got to get behind our nominee in the 9th. We've got to get behind our nominees on the local races. We've got to stick with Rick Jasper, stick with the sheriff, stick with Steve Gooch, who are doing an amazing job in the State House and Senate and leading in a balanced budget environment, a good example for us in Washington. We've got to continue holding together as Republicans and not let them divide us. So this is a year they're testing us to see if we will be that family that hangs together all the way through to the end and gets across the finish line as victors in November. So thank you for your great support. God bless you, and thank you for all you've done for me and Julie.
Following on the theme of congressional candidates, we'll go ahead and let the candidates for the new 9th District speak. Candidates, you have 3 minutes. We have a lot of candidates. Everyone would like to say something. Once you've given us your name and what you're running for, you're at liberty to say what you want, so long as it is decent and it's not something nasty about your opponent. Say something nice about them. My mama always told me, if you can't say something nice about somebody, don't say anything. But speak about yourself. Let us know what you're going to do when you are elected. Is Doug Collins here or someone representing Doug that would like to speak for just a moment? You have 3 minutes.
Well, my name is Justin Tomczak, and it's great to be here on behalf of Doug Collins. Doug is at the Air Force Base at Dobbins this weekend, where he's on duty there. That's why he couldn't be here today, but it's great to be back at this farm where we had our corn roasts and so many great memories here. Last year, actually got in the creek, and that was fun, but it's a little bit too cold for that today. Doug's running for Congress to stand firm for our conservative values. He's somebody who is going to go up to Washington, he's going to do the right thing, and he's going to support folks like Tom Graves who are up there doing the right thing every day. Doug is a proven conservative. He spent 6 years in the state house. He's got a great record of standing up for our conservative values. I'm confident that when he goes to Washington, he's going to do the same thing. He's going to be very effective up there and help Tom Graves and the rest of the conservative Republicans take this country back. So it's great to be here. I won't take all of my 3 minutes because I'm not the candidate. CollinsLeads.com is our website. If you have any questions, come talk to me. Great to be here again. Thank you.
I haven't seen him, but is Roger Fitzpatrick here or someone representing Roger? We have 3 candidates that have qualified in the new 9th.
Hi there, I'm Trevor Thomas on behalf of Roger Fitzpatrick. Roger is at a Tea Party event today, so he couldn't be here, so my wife, Roger's niece, Michelle, and I are here with our 4 children. You've seen those running around. Roger's running the new 9th District. He's new to politics. He's a former Marine, an educator, an administrator, been in education for a long time. He's retiring. He's a father, a grandfather, and is conservative to the core. And we've been passing out some literature. We appreciate you guys checking him out. His website is Fitzpatrick for Congress, the number 4. If you want to go online and see what Roger stands for. He's a leader in his church. Been in Northeast Georgia all of his life. He loves this area. He's a patriot, and he's running for Congress because, as he says, he loves this country, and he doesn't like the direction that he's seen in the last several years, and he wants to do something about it. So we appreciate you guys checking him out. Thank you very much.
I'm glad that you people representing the first 2 candidates didn't use your time. The next lady is never at a loss for words, and you'll find that out. She does a great job. Also running for that congressional seat, Miss Martha Zoller. Thank you, Martha.
Where I'm in the sun where y'all can see me. I'm Martha Zoller. Thank you so much for having me here today. It's always great to have a great tomato sandwich. You know, it's my 22nd wedding anniversary today. My husband is at home finishing a restoration of an automobile that he's converting to vegetable oil, so he could not be here today. That was kind of my present to him. I'm letting him finish that project today instead of being here, but he sends his best. It was funny, a few years ago I said, I kind of like some tomatoes. I'd like a little garden. Well, Lynn is an overachiever, and we now have a 20 by 40 garden that grows about 6 different kinds of vegetables. So it's great to be here today. I have been your conservative voice in Northeast Georgia for the last 16 years. July 4th will be 16 years since I was on the air. I've been listening to you, the people of North Georgia. And the American dream is under siege. And it's not the 99% and the 1%. It's about whether you have the same opportunities for your children and grandchildren that you had in this society, and that's what it's about. Over the last few months, I've been traveling to these counties. I've been to Pickens County a number of times. I've been to all the counties a number of times. But in March, we went around and we did our minivan caravan tour. And we went back around to every single county, and we met in gazebos and people's homes and people's businesses. And we put together, based on what you had to say, the map for prosperity. And it is our plan for what we're going to do when we get to Washington and how we're going to accomplish it. And it's about accountability, like Congress has to live by the same rules that you do. It's about term limits, not only for elected officials, but for bureaucrats. That's an idea that Tom Graves put in my head about 4 years ago, and I've been thinking about it ever since, and I think it's a great idea. Also, it's about reform, cutting spending across the board, being able to cut regulation by more than 50%, and also getting our tax code replaced. We've got to do all of those things. And then citizen engagement, and this is the most important part. We're going to continue to be involved with you by radio, by television, by other ways. This is the 21st century, folks. You don't have to wait for me to come home to interact with me. If something is going on in a committee meeting and it's a problem, we're going to step out to the radio studio that's right there in the Congress, and we're going to let you know that we're going to be there, and we're going to let you interact with me so that you can tell me what you think about it right then. We're going to bring 21st century communication into citizen engagement. We encourage you to go to the Map for Prosperity. You can go to marthaforcongress.com. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm going to be around here. You guys are very important to me. I ask you for your vote on July 31st, and I appreciate you. But I also, for those of you that are in a different side, in a different district, if you're in the 14th, I ask you for your prayers. Thank you so much, and I appreciate you. Go to marthaforcongress.com. Thank you.
Next, introduce a man who really needs no introduction. We've all known him. We, for the most part, see him most every day. He's always doing something. If you call him, he'll call you back within 24 hours or send you an email. He is our state representative from this area, Mr. Rick Jaspers. Rick, where are you at?
Well, it is a beautiful day, and I'm proud and to be here. Some people have asked me, Rick, do you have any opposition? And I say no. And if you've seen me do it, I go. I say, no, I don't. And I'm excited and proud to be in that position, so I can have a garden and do some fun things with Marcia this summer. But I appreciate your confidence, especially, and it's just from me to you, and I appreciate the accountability that y'all put on me. I mean, it's it's really neat to come through town and people give you ideas and say and question you. And I think that's one thing that our society kind of got away from for a little while, was taking time and that personal responsibility that we have as voters to take time and question and hold an elected official accountable at all times, because we put them in those positions. And I appreciate that, and I like it. It's kind of fun, keeps you on your toes, and it makes you knowledgeable. But you really have to get down and dig into an issue, which has been real fun for me to do. And I appreciate that. I look forward to working for you for another 2 years. I've got a kind of a different district. I go all the way up to the Murray County line. Whitfield County line. I got to get that right when I'm in Murray County Thursday night. But please call on us. We send a nice mail piece out. Don't be afraid to call us on our cell phone or whatever if we can be assistance to you, because we want to. And just to echo what our congressman said a few minutes ago, something that's kind of on my heart, because in our community in Pickens County, we're going to have it's a different situation. With so many of y'all running for local offices here, it's going to be a lot of contention. There's going to be some hurt feelings that's going to happen. But after that election day, we all have got to get our focus and get our neighbors and get our cousins and get the people that I have who live in other parts of the United States to get out and vote in November. We've got to have that deep in our soul that once this thing's over in our primary, that we're going to work hard and change Washington. And that's something that I think about it almost every day, of who we can contact, get them to vote, bring them into this voting world of responsibility, because we've got to have them, and we need them. But I appreciate it. Look forward to talking to you. I really want to thank Bill Horton and the kitchen crew, all the folks that did all the work for this neat day, and thank the good Lord for a beautiful day. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. This year we have a judgeship that is being contested, and we want to hear from the two candidates for that. The incumbent candidate, Roger Bradley, I believe, is here. Roger, would you come forward? Should I say, here comes the judge?
I am Roger Bradley, and I am running for Superior Court Judge. I'm going to stand back, Martha, so the sun isn't shining in my face. but I am running for a fourth term of Superior Court judge. If I in fact get the fourth term, it will max out my state retirement, and I would very much appreciate your vote on July the 31st. When my family and I moved from Woodstock to LJ, we moved up to be a part of the community. And we've done so. I practiced law for 26 years while serving as municipal judge for 12 years. My wife was in real estate until real estate quit. My daughter is an optometrist locally. My son, when he was still here, worked in the hospital and worked in the summertime down at the swimming pool as lifeguard and lifeguard instructor. Unfortunately for our family, he has decided to remain in California, where he graduated from anesthesia school along with some other fellow graduates and practice out there. I was not imported from out of the area by a special interest group to run for judge. When we registered to vote, we registered to vote for as a part of the community, not for that specific purpose. And this morning I would like to dispel two rumors that are being circulated about me. Number one, that I'm a Democrat. That is not true. And the other one that I would like to dispel is the fact that I'm going to try and win the election and then immediately quit and appoint my hand-picked successor. That's not the way the process works. If there is a vacancy in Superior Court judgeship, you, the voters, do it after a special election, or the governor does it after a nominating process. So please remember, if you hear people floating the rumors that I'm a Democrat or that I'm going to win and quit, both of those are untrue. Now, to give you a little bit of idea about me as a person and the way that I run the court. When I first went on the bench in 2001, a Superior Court judge gave me a little book that had in it the 10 Commandments for being a good trial judge. And I want to read those 10 Commandments because I keep this in a little card in my briefcase. And sometimes when things get real stressed out for me or for an attorney or for the case, I will pull this out and sometimes read it privately. And there have been occasions when I've read it out loud. The first commandment is, be kind. The second one, be patient, be patient, be patient. The third one, be dignified. The fourth one, don't take yourself too seriously. Fifth one, remember a lazy judge is a poor one. Number 6, don't be dismayed when reversed. That's by the appellate courts. Number 7, remember there are no unimportant cases. Number 8, don't impose long sentences. And I happened to be reading this aloud one time when we had some fellows there in orange uniforms over in the jury box. And when I got to that one, don't impose long sentences, one of the guys in the orange uniform went, yeah. Number 9, don't forget your common sense. And number 10, pray for divine guidance. I was going over this with Judge Marion T. Pope, who a lot of you know, and he said, well, let me give you something for the reverse side of that. So he gave me his 6 commandments for being a trial judge. Number 1, a Superior Court judge must have the love of Christ. Number 2, the patience of Job. Number 3, the persistence of Moses. Number 4, the faith of Abraham. Number 5, the wisdom of Solomon. And number 6, the height of a rhinoceros. Now, some folks have told me that as long as we've been here and as well known as we are in my family and all that, that this won't be a difficult process. And I keep telling them, well, I can't be cocky or self-assured or anything like that. I have to take it seriously. And I will ask them this question. If you were the county school superintendent, which bomb threat are you going to ignore? You don't dare ignore a bomb threat for a school. And even though I know that the person has been imported by a special interest group for this specific purpose, I don't dare ignore it. And for the July 31st date, I would very much appreciate your vote. Thank you for the opportunity of being here.
Thank you, Judge. Now we have the challenger for the judgeship, Bob Sneed.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Bob Sneed, and I am the candidate for Superior Court Judge. There's nothing important about me. I've been in Blue Ridge for about 7 years, and that's where my home is. That's where I make my home, and it's a beautiful place, and I love this section of the county. I've been a practicing attorney for 25 years. I've been a municipal judge for 20 years. I currently sit for 17 separate municipal jurisdictions in this district, LJ, East LJ, and Blue Ridge. I'm married to my wife, Ariane. This month we'll be married 21 years. We have 2 sons, Robert, who's age 18, and Hunter, who's age 12. I'm running for this position because every time I talk to somebody, I keep getting the same recurrent complaints that this court system is broken. The dockets aren't moving, the cases are backlogged, orders are not being produced in the cases. It's taking years to get hearings, especially in custody cases involving children. We need efficient access to the courts, and currently that's not being done. I think we can fix that. It's going to take some time to fix that, but it's going to require some effort to do that. I'm a Christian. I'm your conservative candidate, and I would ask for your vote on July 31st. Together we can fix this problem. Thank you very much.
For the prosecuting side of the law, we have 3 individuals who are running for the district attorney. And we'll take them in alphabetical order. First, Mr. Harry Doss.
Chairman Horton, Congressman Graves, Representative Jaspers, other elected officials, and my fellow Republicans. My name is Harry Doss, and I have practiced law in Fannin County for 39 years. I have been an extremely active and loyal Republican for 34 years. I was a Republican before that, but I'm talking about active. One might even say fanatical. Been active in the Fannin County Republican Party and the 9th District Republican Party. I was elected to serve as chairman of the Republican conventions in 1989 and 1990. I say that simply to illustrate that I did not attend my first Republican function when I qualified for office, and I attend and work in the Republican Party every year, not just during election years. Now, there was one exception to my 39 years of practicing law. That was, I was called to active duty with the United States Army when Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait. And for the better part of 5 years, I was gone, most of it out of the country, in Saudi Arabia or Egypt. It was my great privilege to serve in the United States Army Reserves for 31 years, 1 month, and 21 days. I loved nearly every minute of it, including the times in Mogadishu, Somalia, one of God's great garden spots on the face of this earth. I'm being facetious there. Although let me hasten to say I was not there during Black Hawk Down. I retired in 1995 as a full colonel. But when I took the oath of office as a young second lieutenant in 1966 at Mercer University in Macon, part of that oath was that I would not lie, and I certainly, as an extension, would not grossly exaggerate. So I tell you today that I'm a hard worker and that I would never lie or grossly exaggerate to you. What I say is absolute truth. In Pickens County, the reason I'm running for district attorney is because that office is in a terrible, deplorable condition. There can be no other definition for it when you analyze the facts. Now, so when I tell you that in Pickens County, you have 1,305 cases, active criminal cases pending as of the 25th day of May of this year. 1,305 cases, active. The current district attorney, and this is just not my words, but his, has said on public TV that he volunteered in another circuit to serve 400 hours, volunteered 400 hours, when we had well over 3,000 cases pending in this district, 1,300 here, but we have 2 other counties. And at that time, 3,000 cases. But he's off volunteering his time. It's not his time he was volunteering, it was our time. You can read in the Muskogee paper down in Columbus where he said he volunteered 2 weeks of our time. Okay. Yeah, it says 30 seconds. Well, at any rate, I do not believe that the current district attorney is a full-time district attorney. I will be a full-time district attorney. We have to do something more to move these criminal cases forward. In 7.5 years, the current district attorney and his staff of 8 assistant attorneys have only managed to try less than 90 cases. 7.5 years, less than 90. I think the district attorney's primary responsibility is to try cases. Our current district attorney in 7.5 years has only tried less than 5 cases. Less than 5. And what I tell you can be verified by you calling up your clerk, Ms. Brown, or Glenda Sue Johnson, or Dana Chastain in Blue Ridge. All right, thank you. I think I have the experience. I'm capable. I'm certainly willing to do a full-time job as our district attorney. I would appreciate your consideration and vote on 31 July in the Republican primary. Thank you.
Thank you, Harry. Next, we have the incumbent DA, Joe Hendricks.
Good afternoon. I want to tell you how much I appreciate the opportunity to be back here among friends and among my friends and family in the Pickens County Republican Party. I want to tell you first of all how proud I am that I am the first Republican district attorney in the Appalachian Circuit. And I chose to be a Republican, not out of convenience, but out of conviction. You're not going to find my name listed on the donor rolls of the Democratic Party or contributing money to Democratic candidates. I want to tell you how much grateful I am that you elected me in 2004 because you wanted something done about the out-of-control methamphetamine problem we had in this circuit and in North Georgia. And working with your Sheriff's Department, working with the Drug Task Force, we have worked hard and have made significant progress in bringing that under control. I want to tell you how grateful I am. We got to work, my investigators and I worked with the Drug Task Force and the Gilmer County Sheriff's Office just last couple weeks and closed down 2 marijuana grow houses and seized nearly $1 million worth of marijuana that was growing here in this circuit. I want to tell you, and we had taken a tough stand on those who make methamphetamine and who traffic in methamphetamine, not because we like sending people to prison, but because we know the damage that it did to this community and what it takes to stop it. Because this, I hear the phrase made sometimes, we need to know the difference between the criminals we're afraid of and the criminals we're mad at. I think it's more important that the criminals be afraid of your district attorney and the law enforcement instead of whether or not we're mad at them. The other thing we've done is we've taken a tough stand on sex offenses. We've made it and insisted that people serve time when they abuse and molest women and children. We do that not because we like filling up the prison, but because we know the damage it does to children and families when sex offenders are allowed to are not held accountable for their actions. We take tough stands on DUI. We don't dismiss or reduce DUIs unless there's a good legal or factual basis for doing so. Not because we like taking away people's driver's license, but because we know that we have lost children and babies, and we've had people severely injured and paralyzed due to drunk drivers. In 2004, I promised you we would do something about improving technology so that we can improve the efficiency of the office. As a result of the efforts that I made with the Prosecuting Attorneys Council, we were the pilot project for a statewide case management system that allows your former district attorney, Roger Queen, to log on and participate as a volunteer assistant district attorney and help prepare indictments and accusations from his home. And it's also improved the efficiency of our office. I promise you we would prosecute people without fear, favor, or affection, which is the oath every assistant DA or investigator takes. And we have done that. We prosecute, we make sure to hold people accountable regardless of their position, power, or prestige. I want to thank you. My wife Kay is here. My wife this month of 19 years, our son John. We're a member of this community, members of Mount Hope Community Church, where I serve as a Sunday school teacher. Kay serves as a Sunday school teacher, and she teaches at Jasper Elementary. We love this community. We want to continue to serve this community and continue to fight for you. And I ask for your vote on July 31st. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And the last candidate for the DA position, Miss Alison Sosebee.
I want to tell everybody thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to be here today. And I recognize a lot of faces, and there are some that are new. For the people I haven't had the privilege of meeting yet, I am born and raised North Georgia mountains. I have been here my entire life and intend on spending the rest of my life here. I have 2 children, 2 little boys. They're 3 and 6 years old. I went to the University of Georgia for my undergrad, and then I went to the University of Georgia Law School. I have been practicing in this area since the time that I graduated law school, and I was the law clerk for the Appalachian Judicial Circuit for Fannin, Gilmer, and Pickens. After that, I went into private practice in Jasper, and I practiced with George Weaver for several years, and since 2006, I've had an office open in Blue Ridge, Georgia. Currently, I am the city attorney for the city of McKaysville. I also prosecute cases in their city court there, including DUIs and traffic offenses. I am the city attorney for East Ellijay, and I prosecute cases in the city of Ellijay. I've sat as the juvenile court judge pro tem in this circuit, and I think that I'm well qualified to be your district attorney. I'll tell you, I have a good practice. I do. I have been very, very blessed in most things that I've done in my life. But when I made the decision that I was going to run for district attorney for this circuit, it was because there needed to be a change. The people of the Appalachian Judicial Circuit deserve more than what they are currently receiving from who is in office and in that position at this point. What the people of the Appalachian Judicial Circuit deserve is a working district attorney, which is not what we currently have. Now, you know, it's interesting when you're an attorney and you're involved in the court system, you don't just get to take vacation. You have to file what's called a leave of court, and you have to list all of the cases that you're involved in on this leave to ask the court permission to take time. Well, the district attorney, in running his campaign, has filed a leave of absence, and of the over 3,000 pending criminal cases in Fannin, Gilmer, Pickens, on his leave of absence, there were 2. 2 cases. That is not a working district attorney. What we need in this, in addition to that, is a district attorney's office that will work well with law enforcement, to have that relationship with the sheriffs of every single county, to have that relationship with the chiefs of police in every single city throughout the circuit, that will have a cohesiveness and cooperation that exists that is not there now. They are there on the front lines. They're the ones that are making the cases, but where we are at, there's a complete disconnect in terms of law enforcement bringing the cases and cases that are being prosecuted. I would respectfully disagree with the district attorney's position that his office practices without favor, prejudice, or fear. There are cases that are being pled that should never be pled. There are cases that are being tried that should never be tried because there is a complete lack of cohesion and cooperation. I want to be here. I want to take advantage of all of the community resources that are available. I appreciate you guys. I'm asking for your support and for your vote on July 31st. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now we'll move forward to what a lot of you came for, and that is the local candidates. And we'll start out with our local sheriff. This is not Mayberry, but we do have a local sheriff that everybody seems to know by the first name. Donnie, as he's known to most of us, Donnie Craig, our sheriff.
Thank you. I won't make it brief. I'm not going to do the dance just quite yet, Tom, or Rick. I'm going to hold off a little while. But listen to these other guys and the other folks that are running for office. I may do it a little sooner than I had planned, but it is nice to be up here today and be unopposed. I just want to take a minute to thank y'all and thank the community for the support that we've had for the last 3.5 years. Guys, we have truly blessed with some of the things we've been able to do. We look at our budgets and the state of the economy. We've been able to, in the last 3.5 years, we've been able to put more uniformed patrol officers on the road. We started animal control. We've been able to start a school resource officer program, putting 4 deputies in the school system. We do inmate work detail, and we've had a ton of new community programs. And those community programs are are very important because it allows us to build that relationship with the community. It allows us to know what's going on. And our office needs to be about what y'all and what this community expects, not about another political agenda or something from the government telling you what needs to be done. I work for y'all, and again, I thank you for the opportunity I've been given. Again, it's truly humbled by the support that we've had from all the elected officials and the folks in the community and the churches. And guys, it's just, you know, I tell you, I'm so proud to be where I'm at, and there's nothing I'd rather do with my life than serve y'all as a sheriff. So I ask for your support again. We go into this next election. I ask for your prayers. But I ask for the prayers not only for myself and my family, but I ask y'all to pray for the office, that we can continue serving and serving this community the way that we need to, and helping keeping y'all safe. So again, thank y'all, and good luck to the other candidates here today.
Now we have some new positions that have come up. The Chairman of Commissioners, most of you know that our form of local government will be changing with this next election cycle. And we will have a Chairman of Commissioners who will be elected at large. And then we will have a commissioner elected from District 1. And for those of you that have not asked, basically if you look at 515, and this is not exact, but if you're west of 515, you're generally in District 1. If you're east of 515, except for a little sliver along Refuse Road, you're going to be in District 2. Running for Chairman of Commissioners, first is the gentleman who has served as our Soul Commissioner. I've called him the Soul Man several times, but Robert Jones. Rob?
Well, does everybody like the weather here? Because being sole commissioner, if this was raining, it would be my fault, I assure you. But again, I want to thank each and every one of you here, especially the voters of Pickens County. To be able to be your commissioner for the last 8 years has been an honor. I have really enjoyed it. It is a job that I wish everybody could have a bite at. We have families here that family members have been commissioners in the past, and it is trying on the family. It is, but also it has been rewarding that we can do something for the community. As we go forward into this new form of government, I have tried in my last 8 years to put together a conservative form of government, such as we have kept the millage rate at 6.26% for the last 3 years. We have paid off just about all the debt of Pickens County, long-term debt. We still got $2.6 million, as most of y'all know about that. We have increased the infrastructure. We are still building infrastructure such as water lines, resurfacing roads. We started about 3 weeks ago, got that project back up and going again. And as most of you know, with the SPLOST that was voted on, we are getting the courthouse reconditioned and getting some addition on the back of the courthouse. There's things happening in the county. And hopefully we can keep a management to the fact that we won't have to raise taxes. We don't know how this new form of government for the commissioners is going to work exactly. I'll just be quite frank. We're expecting there could be a minor increase. I just don't know that to that point. But we will get through it. I would appreciate your vote. You've put your confidence in me for the last 8 years, which really I was probably the first commissioner to get elected 2 times in a row going back to 22 years. So I want to thank you for that and what you have blessed me for that position. But again, I am honored to have this position. I'm also pleased to see that we have finally, after all these years, we got so many people coming out for so many different positions that are up for election this time, and got the voters, the educated voters that we got here in Pickens County, and that has went up over the years, has really helped bear the process of who they pick and who they choose. So as we go on through the day, y'all remember us, remember our families, because we are putting our lives out here for you, the voters, and the benefit of Pickens County. And if y'all remember us on July 31st, we sure would appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Another candidate for this position, who is from over in the Marble Hill area here, Wesley Weaver. Wesley?
I want to thank Mr. Horton and thank the Republican Party for allowing me this opportunity to speak. I want to be a kinder, gentler candidate for Commissioner Chair. Last week at the Tea Party, I wanted to express my disappointment. I wanted to express my anger at the way the county's going. I think there's too much money been spent, and if I can't say anything nice, I'll just start by saying that I'm a graduate of Pickens County High School. I went to the University of Georgia. At the University of Georgia, I graduated with honors. I graduated in 2 years in a semester, 4 years of coursework, in 2 years. I went to law school out in Los Angeles, California, at Southwestern School of Law. That was experience being in Los Angeles, California. I said, I'm so glad I got the chance to go out there. In Los Angeles, California, I met some, being from Marble Hill, I was in a new world up there. The life experience I gained while out there was priceless. Me graduating school so early, I went year-round. When I first went over to UGA for orientation, they were suggesting that we take 12 hours of coursework. And I figured it up, and I said, well, if we only take 12 hours of coursework per semester, then it's going to take 5 years to graduate. I said, how am I able to take more than 15? I want to graduate soon. They said, well, you have to get special permission to take more than 15 hours of coursework. I said, well, I want to take 18. And after I took 18 the first semester, I said, I want to take 21. I had to go get special permission to do that. But I was concentrated, dedicated, and focused on achieving my education. I want to bring that same dedication and focus to the job of Commission Chairman. Mr. Jones mentioned the millage rates at 6.26. In this down economy, when people have asked me, in this down economy, when the value of my property goes down, why is the millage rate staying the same? Why don't it go down? How can I be paying more in taxes when my property has been devalued? I think that's a question. Why is taxes going to be possibly hiked? That was in the newspaper. Why is taxes going to be hiked? We were promised with this new form of government it'd be relatively little new expense. Well, now we're talking about new taxes. I just don't understand that. When the previous commissioner left office in 2004, there was a SPLOST then. The SPLOST raised since 2003, the last SPLOST that ended 2008, it raised $23 million. $3 million was raised before the previous commissioner left, and he spent the $3 million. There was left from the previous SPLOST $20 million. I want to know what happened to that $20 million. I also want to encourage you, again, to go to the Georgia Department of Audit's website and look at the audit of the county budget from 2010. Thank you.
Thank you, Wesley. And now for the district I keep calling the West District. It's actually Commission District 1. We have 5 candidates for that. So bear with us. They've got 3 minutes each like everyone else. And we've got 5 good candidates, good, solid Republicans. And I will call them in alphabetical order. First candidate, Mr. Jerry Barnes.
Thank you, Bill. As of last Thursday, I retired from Georgia Farm Bureau. Somebody said, "Did you do this because you're running for the office?" I says, "No, I've done it for a little payback to my community that I've lived in there for 60 years." I've been pretty active in all of our community activities, church activities, and so forth. But I got grandkids, and I hate to see the situation this country's in right now pass this on down to my grandchildren and their children. we've got to start somewhere. And I feel like we got to do a grassroots thing. We got to start at the grassroots. We can't go to the top and talk to them in Washington, other than Mr. Graves there. We can talk to him anytime about it, I think. But we've got to start somewhere, and that place is here. And I just want to let you know that I'll be there. Anytime you need to talk to me, I'll be there. And I also want to invite you tonight. I'm having a campaign kickoff in the Hinton community at 6 o'clock. Everybody here is invited to come, and I appreciate the time here. Thank you.
That's what I like, a man of few words, but some good words when he's speaking. Next we have Mr. Marty Callahan. Marty?
Again, I'd like to thank Bill and the Republican Party for having us out here for this beautiful day in Pickens County. I've often referred to in my slogan or my platform, starting to talk about, is Pickens County is God's country. Can you not believe this is God's country? You take a look, just look around and see where you are. This is it. I'm going to be very brief. I've lived in Pickens County most of my life. I went to school here. I've served as a recreation coach for 25 years, deacon of my church, chairman of the Marble Festival, chairman of the Chamber of Commerce. I've done everything there just about service you could do in Pickens County. I feel like I have the experience and the drive to give back to this community, which I've done for the last 46 years. And I believe I will continue to do that in this office if the Pickens County voters elect me for the west side. And Bill, I do live in that sliver of Refuge Road that I do in Pickens County. That has been one of the biggest things that people have asked about until we get the maps is where do I vote? Who do I vote for? And that's one just first step that we're going to have to deal with in this new county government is people, how you're going to be represented. If you've looked at the bill, the way we're going to vote is different. The three-man board is going to be a completely different operation. So going forward in this new government that we're going to have is going to be a very, I'd say complicated, but it's going to be very different in how everything, all the board that run under the county or all the members are put on the board, how they come off, how they're elected, how they're appointed, all the different things. There's going to be a lot of different things that the county is going to go through in this process. There's been several counties around us that have gone through this process, and north and to our east have struggled with this. And we need good people in this program, and we've got some good candidates in this program, and I think we're going to do well with this. It's going to be a transition period, and I believe it's going to be a tough few months to get it going, but I believe it's going to be a good thing for Pickens County. I appreciate your support. July 31st.
Thank you, Marty. You know, Marty brought up an interesting thing. After the election, if two of the commissioners say good morning to each other, it may be a violation of the Sunshine Law, so they've got to be real careful. Our next candidate from the West District is Bart Conley. Bart?
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Bill, for the introduction. I'm glad to see you all here. I'm glad you're all here to see me. It is a beautiful day God has given us. I want to tell you, I consider myself fortunate. I was not born here, but I live here. I thank God I was born in a country that you can move around, find a place you want to live, and stay there. Two things you can't do is, one, you can't predict where you'll be born, and the other one is you can't predict when you're going to die. That's up to the Lord, but thank God I'm here. I am running for District 1 Commissioner from the Western District. As Rick Jaspers got up here, he did his little happy dance because he doesn't have opposition. I don't dance, but I would do a happy dance because I'm glad I do have opposition. This is a new position coming up. There are 5 people that have stepped forward to run for the District Commissioner. I think that shows that this county has a good grassroots support for politicians. When you can take a new local race and have people step forward and want to do the job, and I've met the other candidates, whoever gets elected is going to be a good person in that job. I promise if I'm elected, I will work hard at the job. I will work well with the other commissioners. with the other leaders of this county to make sure we stay on a conservative basis, to keep our government limited, to keep our taxes as low as possible, and to spend the people's money wisely. And that's all I'm going to say now. Enjoy the picnic, and thank you all for being here.
Our next candidate, Mr. Stephen Gambria, and Stephen, I have probably butchered your name. Are you here? No? All right. And the last candidate that is running for the commission seat from the West, Mr. Stanley Morris. Stanley?
I'm Stanley Morris. I'm new in politics. I'm not a good public speaker, but I'll have to read this off or I won't forget a lot of it. I'm Stanley Morris. I'm a lifelong resident of Pickens County. My wife, Rita, and I live on the Philadelphia Road in Jasper. I am a 1972 graduate of Pickens High. I was employed at Emaclow Electric for 27 and a half years. My wife, Rita, and I are members of the Philadelphia Baptist Church in Jasper. I have always loved Pickens County. We have a beautiful county. I have worked on nearly or all the roads in Pickens County and the West District, and I know many people in that. I want to be your West District Commissioner. Many people in the county know that I am an honest person. I will work hard for you, and I will treat everybody fairly and the same. My first priority will be our roads and the infrastructure in schools. I will be against unnecessary spending. This is the worst economical times we have had since the Great Depression. I think we are going to definitely have to cut back on spending. My heart goes out to the young people that are graduating from high school. There are no jobs for them to go to. I have been informed that there are 7,000 people that commute out of Pickens County every day to work. Unfortunately, I do not believe there will be but very few jobs available for some time yet. I believe when the national economy starts improving, hopefully it will drift down into Pickens County. When possible, I want to work for new clean industry and business in Pickens County. I will not make promises that I will not keep. I do not know what our issues will be, but when they arise, I will do what I can for them. Please go to the polls on July 31st and vote for me, Stanley Morris, for your District 1 Commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you, Stanley. Now we're going to move on to the District 2 Commissioner position, and that is the east, basically, east of 515. That's the easiest way for me to tell you. First person we have running, Miss Becky Denny.
Thank you. I would also like to thank Mr. Horton and the Republican Party for this opportunity. And Stanley, I need my teleprompter also. I'm Becky Denny, and I want to be the first woman to serve on the first 3-person Board of Commissioners of Pickens County. And for me, it's about service and giving back. I was raised in the city of Jasper by my widowed mom, Ethel Qualls. When I was 1 year old, my father was murdered on the west side of Pickens, and that could have been tragic for my sister, my mom, and I, but not in Pickens County. Pickens County embraced us in so many ways. We had credit at the local grocery store, Benny Townsend on Main Street, some of you might remember, and that gave me a heart to want to give back, because it does take a village, and I feel like that I grew up very healthy and happy, and thank God for Pickens County. I attended Pickens County schools and also Reinhardt College classes at Pickens Tech. I am a businesswoman, having owned a State Farm agency for 20 years. and I worked in the insurance industry for 35 years. I received many honors from State Farm, including the prestigious President's Club Award. This award recognizes the top 100 agents out of 18,000 agents nationwide. Folks, we need to attract jobs to the community, including knowledge-based businesses. An example would be a call center that would employ many of our citizens. We also need to preserve and protect our natural beauty, therefore making us attractive to new residents, which would bring back our construction business. Tourism is the second largest industry in our state. I have recently joined the newly formed Four Corners Initiative that has developed out of Pickens Arts and Cultural Alliance efforts to promote economic development through arts and cultural tourism. I am a Christian, I am a conservative, I would spend your money wisely as though it were my own money. I strongly support our Second Amendment right to bear arms. I strongly support our individual property rights and am against government intrusion of any form. I am available to discuss any issue with you. You can find my cell phone number by going to my website at beckydenny.com. I am asking for your vote, and I sure would appreciate it. Thank you.
Tell you a little story about our next candidate. Last Monday morning, I was in a local eatery, and he came walking in a pair of shorts, and somebody looked at him and said, "If you're going to run against Becky, you're going to have to shave them legs." Our next candidate, Jerry Jabbo Patterson. Jerry?
Thank you, Bill. I think I owe you one. I'm not wearing shorts today, and that's for a good reason. A lot of people know me as Jabbo, and I've had people ask me, where did the name Jabbo come from, and why do you go by that? I'm the last of 7 children. I don't think I'm a product of Planned Parenthood. My brothers and sisters were older, and I had 4 older brothers, and they nicknamed me Jabbo at birth, and it stuck. My folks, my kin folks, my schoolmates, my teachers, all of my work life, they knew me as Jabbo, and that's the reason I use it on the name. I lived here 60 years, born and raised here. I worked primarily with the Postal Service all of my life. I worked 33 years there, served in a number of postmaster positions, a number of acting positions, area manager, superintendent of window services in Smyrna. Got a very varied background. In 2003, I was picked by the National League of Postmasters as the Georgia Postmaster of the Year, and that was an honor for me. I retired in 2005. 2008, I was asked to serve as an internal auditor for the Atlanta Postal Credit Union. I do that 2 days a month. The days are varied. There's no set schedule for it. We go in mostly unannounced to make sure that everything's being protected for the members of the credit union. I'm seeking this position because I want what's best for our county too. Everybody here is here for a reason. They want Pickens County to prosper. They want our children to have a better place to live. And that's my ultimate goal. I'd like to ask each of you to consider me when you go to the polls. Early voting opens July the 9th. Like my opponent, I'm a pro Second Amendment person too. I'm a member of the NRA, and I think we have rights that no one should take away. I think that we need to stick together on these issues. We've got good people representing us in Congress. I go every January with the Postal Service and the members of the credit union. We walk the halls of Congress on issues for them, and I see how it runs up there. They need our gouging. They need us to make them jump a little bit. If we had more people like Representative Graves, we would be in a lot better shape. I'm not going to drag out or try to say a lot of things I'm thinking off the hip. I would just simply appreciate your vote and support, and it's good to see all of you. Thank you.
Next, the Republican Party has one candidate running for tax commissioner, Mr. David Leister.
As I've complained many times, I seem to miss these emails, so I actually hadn't prepared for this. But I want to thank all of you for taking time. My My background has been varied. I've been in various sales organizations. I've been a data center manager. Most of my life I've been involved in streamlining processes and making things more efficient. That's what I would hope to do if I am elected. And I think that with my recent background in public service, no matter what is said about the tax man, I've already heard it. So I'm not much of a public speaker, and probably at this point it's best for me to say thank you for listening and to step aside for the next individual. But thank you very much.
Thank you, Dave. Next, we have an incumbent for this position, our county coroner, Mr. Kevin Roper. Kevin?
Thanks, Bill. I appreciate it. Appreciate this opportunity to be here with you today. It's 8 years ago I came to you asking you for your support and help to bring the office of coroner up to a higher standard and hold it to professional standard to be able to serve the families with dignity and respect. And you granted me that honor back in 2004, and this year I'm thankfully unopposed at this point, and I just still appreciate your support going into this. Probably the only office up here that nobody wants to have anything to do with, and I currently understand that. But we do try our very best to run this office with the utmost respect to our families on the worst day of their life. And I humbly ask for your support and your prayers in the future. Thank you.
Next, we have two candidates for the office of probate judge. First candidate to speak, Mr. David Lindsay.
I'd like to thank Bill and thank the Pickens County Republican Party for organizing this event. It's a beautiful day, and it's exciting to see all these folks out here and all these candidates who are interested in the upcoming elections. And it's exciting to see everybody get involved. The current probate judge, the good Judge Rodney Gibson, is retiring this year after over 30 years of service, and he has my deepest admiration and respect, and I know he has everybody's deepest admiration and respect also as far as it goes in the community. I didn't make the decision to run for public office lightly. I knew it would have a large impact on me and my family, and we made that decision together. My wife of 13 years, Marie, was here earlier. Our 2-year-old Sophie got a little rowdy, so they had to go back to the house. We also have a 10-year-old son, Carter, who's here. My parents, Tom and Susan Lindsay, are also here. I'm proud to be their son, and it's their service and my family's service in the community that inspired me to run for this position, and I hope I can follow in their footsteps. I am a native of Pickens County. I graduated from Pickens County High School in 1989, and I had a long-standing dream of graduating from law school. And so I went to the University of Georgia and graduated with an English degree. And then in 1996, I fulfilled that dream by graduating from University of Georgia School of Law. While I was in Athens, I worked at the University of Georgia Law Library for 7 years, the entire time I was there. I also worked in the University of Georgia Legal Aid Clinic, where we offered free legal services to indigent criminal clients. And during that period of time, I also had the privilege to serve an internship in Washington, D.C. for the great Congressman Ed Jenkins. And that is an experience that I'll always treasure and always remember. After graduation from law school, I came back to Pickens County. And again, I had the privilege of serving as a law clerk in the Appalachian Judicial Circuit for Judge Brenda Weaver and Judge Bobby Milam. After that, and since then, I have been in the private practice of law for over 15 years, and that entire 15 years has been almost exclusively focused on probate work. I do practice other types of law, but probate work has been a consistent theme throughout my 15 years. I am currently the city attorney for the city of LJ and have been since 1999. I am the public defender for the Municipal Court of Jasper, Georgia, and I've been appointed regularly by Pickens, Gilmer, and Cherokee County probate courts to represent folks who are in need of a guardianship, to make sure their rights are protected. Excuse me. All those experiences and all that work experience has given me two things that I believe a probate judge requires. And those are an extensive knowledge of the law and an understanding of the needs of the people that are served by the probate court. A probate judge has to follow the law and he has to follow the Constitution, but he also has to do that with common sense and understand the needs of the people that come before that court. Okay, thank you, Bill. Over the years, the probate court has had more and more cases filed in it, and the probate laws have become more and more complex. And as a result of that, I believe that the office of probate judge needs a full-time judge. If elected, I will resign my current position. I will not maintain a law office, and I will serve as the probate judge full-time. And like the current court, my door would always be open to the citizens of Pickens County. I would encourage each of you to become informed voters, talk to the folks that you know out in the legal community, and talk to them regarding me and my qualifications and my fitness to serve as the probate judge. Thank you for your time, and I would humbly ask for your vote in the July 31st primary. Thank you.
Our next candidate for probate judge is Miss Nancy Cochran-Maddox.
Hi, everybody. It's an honor and a privilege to be here today to speak to you. I appreciate the Republican Party having this forum for all of us to speak. I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Nancy Cochran-Maddox. I'm proud to have my family here today, my parents, Dan and Linda Cochran. My Uncle Jimmy's over there, and he said, just speak from your heart and it'll all be fine. So he always has great advice. My beloved husband, who is in charge of signs for me. If anybody's seen any signs around, I don't know. I am privileged to be from this area, and I'm privileged to have had the upbringing that I had. My parents raised me just over this hill, across this creek. My grandparents helped raise me as well, Gladys and Chris Cochran of Marble Hill. When I was growing up, my dad helped me build my first vehicle, a 1948 Willis Jeep, and I learned how to drive it right over here in this pasture. My brother was very brave to take me over there and help me learn. As time went on, I had an interest in journalism and the law. So when I graduated high school in 1991 from Pickens High with honors, I went on to work at the Pickens County Progress and here locally. Every summer while I was in undergrad, I did attend UGA and received a bachelor's degree. But during those summer days when I was chasing down stories and taking pictures, I learned a lot about the people in this community, more so than I'd learned just in high school. And I learned about their triumphs, their tragedies, things that were going on with them. And I decided it was important to tell their stories, but I also wanted to help if I could. So my first opportunity to be able to do that was my parents and some friends of theirs started a Taxpayers for Better Government group in the early 90s here. They tried to help educate the public on tax appeals for property taxes, and it was a real important lesson for me because I learned that people needed education, they needed the knowledge to be able to help themselves out of situations. We were able to find even some elderly people didn't even have homestead exemptions at that time because they just didn't know it was available to them. After I graduated from journalism school, I went on to UGA Law School, graduated there in 1998. I found myself in the year 2000 up in Ellijay, Georgia, managing a law office. And as that office grew and prospered, in 2006 I made the leap out on my own and bought that office and started Nancy Cochran-Maddox Attorney at Law PC. During my years of practicing law, I have met a lot of different types of people. I've had to try to help people solve a lot of different types of problems. And in doing that, I've learned that you have to be able to run an efficient office. You have to be able to manage the assets that you have available to you. You have to listen to the public, and you have to understand what their problems are. I, too, was honored to be chosen to be guardian ad litem for folks that needed guardianships through the probate court. Probate court handles a lot of different things regarding people that are that have passed away and wrapping up their final business. Also guardianships for children and adults. And I'd like to bring my experience, my business experience of running a successful law practice to that and to become your full-time probate judge. I think that's very important. I'd like to ask for your support and your vote July 31st. Again, Nancy Cochran-Maddox for the office of probate judge. Thank you.
Next, we have 3 candidates for the office of Chief Magistrate Judge. The first candidate, Ms. Lysandra Cooley.
Good afternoon. I'm just tickled to be here today. I love the tomato sandwich picnic every time they have it. I appreciate everybody coming out today. Most of you here know me already, but for those of you who don't, I am Lysandra Ray Cooley. I was born and pretty much raised here in Pickens County, so I'm homegrown tomato myself. And I have a business background. I used to be the owner of R&R Towing for many years until I sold out back in 2010. I went to work in Magistrate Court in July of 2008. Whenever I started my career there, I was the Magistrate Court accountant. I was hired in to help straighten out some books and help straighten the office out and help to introduce a lot of technology to the office. I'm married to Wayne Cooley. We've been together for about 20 years. We've got 4 children. And my dad was the recently retired Chief Magistrate Judge of almost 20 years here in Pickens County, Larry Ray. And over the years, I've learned a lot from my dad. One of the things that he's always stressed to me most is don't ever judge people too harshly, because you never know, you could be one bad decision away from standing in their shoes. And I believe that's a very true statement. And I'm a big people advocate. A lot of people don't understand what Magistrate Court does. Magistrate Court is where you come if you need to file a civil suit against someone for up to $15,000. It's also where you come if you need to collect on a bad check, which I do a lot of nowadays, and if you need to seek an arrest warrant for someone. I'm running for Magistrate Court this year because I feel like that everybody needs to be treated with dignity and respect whenever they come into our court. And y'all have to excuse me, I'm not big on public speaking, so I do fine in the courtroom, but I'm not so good out in a crowd, so please forgive me for that. But anyways, I would appreciate your vote and your support this year. I got a associate's degree from Reinhardt University back in the early 90s, and that was in business administration. And I just currently, about 5 weeks ago, graduated from Reinhardt University with honors in management and leadership organization. I would greatly appreciate your support this year, and appreciate you coming out. Thank you.
Our next candidate is Dale Quinton. Dale, or is someone representing Dale here? None? Okay. Next, the incumbent in this position, Mr. Alan Wigington.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I want to thank the Copeland family. I don't know if any of them are down here, but this is a gorgeous location for us to be at today. I am Alan Wigington, and I am your Chief Magistrate. I assumed that position on April the 26th of last year. Judge Larry Ray appointed me to the bench in August of 2008. I came in as a full-time judge and took on that responsibility and have been there ever since. When Judge Ray decided to retire, the Superior Court judges selected me to finish his term as Chief Magistrate. And upon taking the role of Chief Magistrate, I was tasked with the responsibility of making some changes. Some of the things that we've done are reducing our expenses and our budget by more than 10%. In this tough economy, we expect that the taxpayers' money should be spent effectively, and the court has turned over 10% back, it's actually about 12% now, back to county government to save money. We have increased the number of filings in our court. I don't know what's going on across the nation, but we have become a very litigious society, a group of people that wants to sue people, and we are seeing the benefits of that. We've increased our caseload and our revenue by about 20%. we have taken on an additional caseload in Magistrate Court. Somebody earlier addressed a backlog in Superior Court. A lot of the cases that were going to Superior Court were misdemeanors. And those are misdemeanors that your Magistrate Court could have been handling, but we weren't. And so we have taken on the responsibility and the position that the lowest common denominator, the lowest place that those can be dealt with, they can be dealt with much more efficiently. And that's what we're doing. Last year we cleared over 400 designated misdemeanor cases that never made it to Superior Court to create that backlog. We also saw that there was a need for a mental health court. One of the buzzwords we see in today's criminal justice reform is the accountability courts. Magistrate Court in Pickens County has the only pretrial mental health court serving not only criminal offenders, but also folks out of the probate court from guardianships who have no supervision and have no accountability and are not taking their medication regularly. And we saw them coming back over and over and over again for low-level misdemeanor offenses. And so we took those folks and we started monitoring them. We started working with them. The Superior Courts received a grant for the circuit to hire a case manager, and we see those people at least once a month, some of them twice, some of them 3 and 4 times a month in court for reviews, and we have compliance officers who are working with them. What we've noticed is that we don't have those people coming back into the system. As long as they're being monitored, as long as somebody's holding them accountable, we don't see them back. We've applied and we have started online arrest warrant applications. In fact, just a few minutes ago, I approved arrest warrant from my iPhone. We actually have the technology now, and we're improving the efficiency of the office such that we don't have to have as much staff as we used to have to process things. We're able to take, and law enforcement officers from wherever can submit warrant applications. We can approve them from wherever we happen to be at that time. We also have introduced online civil filing so that if you're a consumer and you have someone that you need to sue, you may do it from your home. You don't have to come to the courthouse. And when those people are served, they can answer from home. They don't have to come to the courthouse, cutting down on the amount of time that it takes in processing those claims. I appreciate your votes. I appreciate your prayers for me and my family as we go through this. And again, I thank you for the opportunity to have served as your Chief Magistrate, and I hope I can continue that.
The next position is Clerk of the Superior Court. The incumbent, Ms. Gail Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Horton. I'm Gail Brown. I'm not a public speaker, so I'm going to have to read a lot. I'm Gail Brown, your Clerk of Superior Court. I have 18 years experience. I began working in the clerk's office in 1993, and in 1999 I was promoted to Chief Deputy Clerk. In 2004, you gave me the honor and privilege of being your Clerk of Superior Court, and again in 2008. I've not taken a vacation since 2004, and that's probably not a good thing. It's not good for your mental health, I don't believe. But anyway, experience does matter when you're the person in charge of the clerk's office. Our work is caught up and current. Our staff is professional in their area of work. They all know their jobs. So we have at least 4 years experience with almost, except for one person that is working there. They have 4 years experience. I have a Pickens High School diploma, a diploma in accounting from Appalachian Tech. I'm a lifelong resident of Pickens County. I raised my daughter here. She went to school here, and now she's a teacher here at Harmony Elementary School. I have 3 granddaughters that are in the Pickens County school system. One has just graduated, so it's just 2 now. The clerk's office is governed by Georgia law and other court rules. We have to make sure that each document that's presented to us for filing is all the requirements is met, that we can't file anything that is not, that's not filed according to law. Also, as a part of our job, we attend to the needs of the court. There's a lot of liability to consider if we don't file all of our documents properly, both personally and as our job as clerk. We're not appointed by any county government agency or any agency of the judiciary. We're accountable to and elected by you, the citizens of Pickens County. And this provides some very important checks and balances in our system. If you re-elect me, I will continue to work with all the county offices to ensure the smooth operation of our county government and our judicial system. I also promise that I will be the person in charge of the clerk's office. My staff's #1 goal is to serve you, the Pickens County citizens. I love Pickens County and I love being clerk of Superior Court, and I ask that you let me continue to let my 18 years experience work for you. I ask that you re-elect me, Gail Brown, your clerk of Superior Court. Thank you.
Our next candidate is Miss Kathy Bruce.
Good evening. I'm Kathy Bruce, and I'm running for your clerk of Superior Court. I'll tell you a little bit about me. I was born and raised in Pickens County. My parents are Elaine Thomason and the late Sam Thomason. I'm married to Randall Bruce. We have 2 children, Matt Bruce and Lacey Jones, and 5 grandchildren. In 1973, I began working at Pickens General Hospital, which is now Piedmont. I worked there approximately 15 years in administration, also being business manager most of that time. I was responsible for keeping all personnel records, employee benefits, and payroll for the hospital and the nursing home. After that, I worked at Century 21, Lindsay and Polly real estate agent, as their office manager. In 1997, I went back to school and became a real estate appraiser, in which I work now at Payne Appraisal Services in Jasper. I currently serve as chairman of the board of the Family and Children's Service in Jasper. In the past, I've served as a member of the Pickens County Planning Commission, the Pickens County Board of Jury Commissioners, and appointed member of the Pickens County Board of Elections. If the citizens of Pickens County allows me the opportunity to serve as their clerk of court, I will utilize the skills and knowledge that I have acquired during my life and career in order to provide a professional and quality services to the citizens and the court officials. I will review current procedures and determine if they need to be changed and establish new procedures that result in an office that will be run in an efficient and professional manner. I will attend all educational seminars available to me, and I will visit other clerks in the neighboring counties to make sure that I give you the best possible service for this county. I'd appreciate your vote, and again, thank you.
Our last candidate for this position, Miss Serena Kirk.
I want to thank you for letting me come out today and speak to all of you. This is my first time ever speaking to a group, so overlook me if I mess up. As you all know, or most of you know, I'm Rena Fleming Kirk. I was born here in Pickens County 53 years ago, and I wouldn't leave here for anything unless it was my children I had to get to. I have been married for 35 years to Randy Kirk, who is employed with Pickens County government now. A lot of you see him out on the roads running a motor grader or holding a sign up telling you to stop and not run over somebody. We have 2 beautiful daughters, Erica Jones and Jody Thomas. We have 3 grandchildren, Ashton, Levi, and Emily, which Ashton and Levi are in the school system now. And I have worked in the school system for had worked in the school system for 21 years, watching my children grow up and trying to stay informed with what was going on. I have debated on this clerk of court for several years now. Back when I was a child, my uncle was the clerk of Superior Court, and we used to sneak out from school and walk uptown and get to go to the old Rexall drugstore. Well, while the others were over there snacking out, I was over in the clerk's office. I had never had the opportunity to run for this office until this year. And I got laid off from ETC, which I had worked for 12 years, a year ago this past March. And I told my husband then, I said, now's the opportunity. I said, the good Lord is opening a door for me. So I decided to step out and do this. I have been in the public eye since I was about 11 years old. My mom had a dress shop in Jasper, and I worked in and out of it. And as I said, then I moved on to the school system. I drove a school bus. So I've watched a lot of children grow up, have children. And it's something that you want to give your heart to and to give back to the community. I hope that everybody will consider when you go out to vote on July the 31st to vote for the best candidate, which is Rena Fleming Kirk. And when you're out talking to your friends and your neighbors, speak of the name. Ask them to give you their support also. If there's anything that I can ever do for any one of you, my door will always be open. And another thing pertaining to the clerk's office, I want to go into that office with an open mind. I want to be there for you because this is your office. It won't be my office. You come to me. If there's ever anything I can do, look me up. I work now at the tax office. I'll be glad to talk with anybody at any time. Thank you.
Board of Education, Post 1, there is no incumbent. The first candidate to speak will be Mr. Mickey Carter. All right, we'll move on to the next candidate, Mr. Michael Cowart. Michael, I know you're here. I saw you.
I am the son of Roy and Kathy Cowart. Some people say that I got my thick skin from my dad, Roy. I got my love for kids from my mom. Everything that I promise to do if I'm elected to the school board is educate myself on the issue that I'm about to vote for. Do the litmus test. If it's good for the kids, I would vote yes. If we can afford it, I would vote yes. If I can live with the vote, I would vote yes. And those are the three things that I will put forth before every vote. I want to make Pickens County school system a place that brings people into the county. If we have a reputation throughout Metro Atlanta of being the place to have your child educated, it will bring more taxpayers to Pickens County. It will help our economy. I think the best place to start is with our young people and give them the highest quality education possible. I am a graduate of Pickens High School, and I've been married since 1986 to my lovely wife, Lisa. We have 2 kids that are both in the school system now. I have 1 in high school and 1 starting middle school this year. I've always been active with children in the community, and it is my passion. And I feel like this is the next step for me, is to seek election for the school board. So I would appreciate your vote on July 31st. Thank you.
Next, for Board of Education, Post 4, Ms. Peggy Andrews.
Thank you. I appreciate being here today to be able to speak to you all. It's been a great privilege. But let me tell you one thing before I start, is that 2 things really are one with 2 people. 2 of the candidates here that have spoken already were my students, and I am so proud of that. I really am. That's just really a great pride to see that happen, you know, when you have taught children and they're here ready to serve their community too. So I appreciate that. Now, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I am a resident of Tate, just right up the creek here. I used to ride 4-wheelers in this creek and pick blackberries and all of those kinds of things. So we live in the Tate area. I'm married to Jerry Andrews for 48 years next week. So I'm proud of that. Have one son and two red-haired grandsons, so who are members of Pickens County Schools. As I have sat and listened to the people here today, I have heard almost every one of you speak about being a graduate of Pickens County Schools or either having children in the county, in the school system. So you know how important the school system is to this area and the things that we need to be doing. I spent 36 years of my life in the education community here in Pickens County. I have been a teacher, I've been a media specialist, I've been a vice principal, a principal, and a curriculum director for the county. We have lots of issues now with the school system, with the declining economy, and a lot of problems that we'll be facing our school system. Right now, our school system receives 12.5% less money from the state than we received in 2009. And we still have to educate our children, and we want to give them a world-class education. We don't want just to run status quo. You know, things have been running well, but we still want to increase their benefits and their education. We want to be at the top. We want other communities looking and saying, what are you guys doing in Pickens County? Your schools are great, and I want to be part of that. We have, our income comes mostly, well, it does come mostly from property taxes. And with the declining economy, the money we're getting now is less than it's been in the past. So we've got to make informed decisions on how that money is spent and use that money wisely and be sure that at the end of the day, that if we said this is good for the kids, then we've done a good job with it. But we have to have good stewards of the money. We have to know our roles. Broadly defined, the role of the school board is to set policies, and it's the role of the administration to carry out the day-to-day operations of the school. So when we set our policies that define those day-to-day operations, we have to know that those are good policies and that we are doing the best that we can for our children. Again, I thank you. I'm Peggy Andrews. I'm running for Board of Education Post 4, and I ask for your vote today. Thank you.
The next candidate for the Post 4 is the incumbent, Mr. Evan Esterwood.
Good afternoon. Most all of you know me. I've been on the school board 10 years now, and it's a challenge. Used to you could meet once or twice a month, go home, forget about it. It's become almost a 7-day-a-week job. When I was elected 10 years ago, my focus was on our kids, our taxpayers, and our school system as a whole. It's not changed. My focus is still on our kids first, managing our taxpayers' dollars, and doing what we feel like in our heart is best for our school system. We've got many challenges today. Example, 10 years ago, 57% of our money come from the state. 43% was local. Today, it's exactly reverse, with the exception of a few thousand that comes from the federal government. Just in the month of May, we were told that our insurance on our employees has increased. They didn't say it might. They told us it has increased to $176,000. We lost $200,000 in Title I money, which comes from the federal government. These are challenges. You've got to make the difference. You've got to do it in a careful manner so that our children are not the ones suffering. We've been able to do it in the years past. I'd like to do it in the years to come. I enjoy doing what I do, enjoy working with our administrators, and not losing sight of you, the taxpayer. You're the boss. What we do comes from what you want done, and that's to manage our school system well, manage it correctly, and watch out for the best interest of our students. And that's my promise, as in the past, to continue to do that. Sometimes you gotta have a firm foot, you gotta stand firm. Sometimes you can compromise. But most of the time, at the end of the day, when all is said and done, you ask, have I done what's best for our kids? And I feel like over the years that we've done that. I'd like to continue to do that, and ask for your vote, your support, and your prayers more than anything. I think prayer has carried us a long way, and it'll carry us on. And I appreciate again your support and your vote.
A number of people that we need to thank. First off, is Gary Copeland, or a member of his family here? I didn't see them earlier. We owe them a great deal of thanks, folks, for letting us come down to this wonderful place to meet and have our picnic. And if you happen to see Gary or his family, please personally thank them for the opportunity they gave us to come here. I'd like to thank each of the candidates for coming today and standing before you and telling you why they want to become the leaders in this community. And it's gratifying to have so many people who are willing to give of their time and their efforts to make this a great community. And of course, as you well know, it is a great community. I'd like to thank Mr. David Jacobs. He came through at the last minute with our sound system. And Dave, if you know him, is a great person. He does a lot of the work over at Big Canoe Chapel and the terraces. And in fact, that's where he's at right now, setting up for the concert tonight. I'd like to thank each of you for coming out and supporting these candidates and listening to them. Remember this, we've got to get these good local offices filled with these good candidates. We've got to elect good people to Congress and return good people to Congress. And we've got to get rid of Barack Obama and the crowd that is spending our money and spending our children's money. And I leave you with this thought. It is going to be the catchword for Republicans between now and November. Remember November. Don't forget to vote. Remember November. Thank each of you for coming out today. We have food left over if you'd like another sandwich.